Gundam Breaker 4, the latest in the series of action-packed hack-and-slash build-your-own-robot battling adventures. This bad boy released on most platforms in August of 2024, and through countless hours, trials, and tribulations, I thought I had experienced everything in this game, and would never, ever return, until I got bored, and I'm like, can we, Nuzlocke this thing somehow? Make some kind of, challenge mode? See, I did some dumb shit. Welcome to... Dun 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 dun. So I had to get creative on this one. For better or worse, at its core, Breaker 4 is kind of a dumb game for babies. You can very, very easily break this open without much effort, just by fully embracing the systems and going full hog on whatever offensive options you want. The frankly kind of passive AI doesn't really stand a chance. Above all else, they wanted to preserve the power fantasy for players, and a lot of design choices kind of reflect that. So what I had to try to consider, since we had all these fantastic resources and options, how can I limit those? How can I funnel down those advantages into the most critical, vulnerable state I can without compromising the ability to actually play the game? Unlike a traditional Nuzlocke for Pokemon, there is no threat of loss. There's no mechanic in this game where you can permanently lose access or even temporarily lose access to a part outside being broken off you. It just kind of magnetizes back to you pretty quick. Even then, you don't get attached to anything, so you're just swapping through parts options left and right. New drops, new looks, new colors, new builders parts, just makes them kind of freak and love it. So we attack those options. We attack the heart of the Breaker game by severely limiting what we can take. After some trial and error, here's the rules as we laid them down. Firstly, fresh save. That's a given. No previous resources available. Secondly, we're playing on hardcore difficulty only. This is the highest difficulty available for first-time runs. It might still not be enough, but it's where we're going to start. As far as systems go, no shop access, no gift parts, can't use anything the game gives us, can't use anything campaigns give us, can't use the synthesize system to feed or gain XP on parts, though Derive Merge might still be on the table for later. We'll see how that works. And the most important rule, the drops. So after every mission, you get a collection of parts that you got from drops from enemies you defeated, and you can pick them all up, scoop them up, put in your breaker bag, and then you slap them on your robot. My proposition to make this a little more miserable is to limit what you can take to only one weapon or one core body part per mission. Some missions even have set rewards, a little blue icon on there, that give you that same kit every time. They're also generally the highest level drop for that mission and help give a nice little guaranteed power boost. No, none of those. Suffice to say, no build boosters either. We're running purely off of just base drop rate. With those factors in place, we can start a run and see what kind of calamity, or even snooze fest if it goes that way, this turns into. And the run begins. We name ourselves Break or Die because no one met the Sueprchat goal and forced me to call myself Dick Butt like that one guy threatened. We load into a normal lobby for Breaker 4 in 2025, completely abandoned, and then select our first tutorial mission to jump off into the game proper. It's basic tutorial fare. I learned to run and jump and shoot in one of the greasiest Breaker games you've ever played. The tutorial itself is set to level 1, so combat's kind of a breeze. There are a few things I'm doing to cheat, including MC shooting, which is a technique I developed in the beta to rapid fire normal weapons. Now, the stage is not useless. There are a few important drops I'm looking for, one of which I actually managed to snag. In addition to a ground-type rifle for slightly better traits and coolness, I also grab a ground-type torso. I specifically want it for the chest multi-launcher skill. That's a very fast, good tracking stun to keep enemies locked down. With our new swag, our handsome boy steps out into the first real mission. Being hardcore difficulty, I'm a good dozen levels lower than I should be, but keeping up pressure, I seem to be able to deal with the enemies alright. Just takes a while to kill. Until I'm hit twice and brought to critical health and reminded that this is a dangerous mode. Even bigger Grandpa shows up and I prepare to engage with the game's first perfect grade scale boss fight. Now, small problem with this is I lack offense. I have level 1 weapons, and this is like a level 16 or some shit boss. It's got HP for days. I don't even put a dent in it with my skills. Might be here for a minute. Or 13 and a half. I keep my audience hostage for 13 and a half fucking minutes as I wear this down bit by bit before it finally falls. Defeating him lets us grab our first actual level drop. There's a near level cap Heat Hawk in there, but since it's a clear reward and I have stupid rules and brain damage, I can't take it and have to take the Gyaradoga axe instead. I also grab a wonderful pair of new pants. Pants with a high power explosive grenade skill that knocks off parts super easily and makes ground breaks much more common. This will let me skip quite a few fights in the future as long as I can keep knocking off those pants. Then remember I have a funny tutorial Zaku arm and painter thing and just get a quick makeover. My optimism somehow still present, not diminished. Despite this bullshit, we jump into mission 2. Now that I have a non-level 1 melee weapon, I'm actually doing good damage, and through a lucky ground break, managed to skip wing entirely, doing the same for Talgies. I'm also a complete idiot and robbed myself out of tons of serpent parts by doing this. Don't be an idiot. The next wave then reminds me I am mortal, as an enemy shoots me repeatedly in the head from point blank, and almost takes me out right there. Your friend and mine, Hash Brown, shows up as the boss of Stage 2, and I say something really stupid like, boy, this shouldn't take nearly as long as last time. And it actually doesn't. With predictable patterns and a good melee weapon, I managed to take this thing down in a little over 5.5 minutes. That's 5.5 minutes we're not getting back. Once again, a wonderful weapon above the current level cap drops, and I can't take it because I'm a putz. So instead, we just grabbed that Jin rifle. A gun's a gun. Similarly, the amazingly perfect serpent arms are a quest reward, so I can't grab those either. Thankfully, right below them is this slightly lower level launcher strike, which pretty much does the same thing as far as having a built-in machine gun and missiles. We unlock emotes because we're oh so lonely, and launch off to the next mission. It's only 3 missions in, but I'm feeling pretty good. I'm starting to round out some decent level parts all around the build. It doesn't look terrible. Maybe this will be okay. And it actually is. Despite my apprehension of being a defense mission, possibly being too under-leveled to keep the enemies off it, I don't keep them off it. But afterwards, I use those new explosives off the launcher strike to knock them around, and the HLV manages to escape just fine. Have fun in space. There's actually war criminals in there, but we don't talk about that. The rest of the mission is incredibly uneventful. There's an IBO portion, there's an age portion. The boss fight is actually age 3 normal and legless with a bunch of extra mooks, which is kind of cool because age is amazing. You should watch it. Then it becomes less amazing as bad positioning puts me in my first down for the run. Thankfully, there's an AI companion to pick me up, but that got scary fast. With one more mission down, I'm greeted with an absolute dogshit selection of weapons. And through deliberation of having either a terrible gun worse than what I have, or a second melee weapon, I go for a second melee weapon. In Breaker 4, it actually works out that both your weapons, if you're dual wielding, have an average power of each other. So having 2 axes of the same level 7 is actually pretty okay. I'm not losing any strength from it, and I get the benefits of a 2-weapon loadout for movesets. My body part's a no-brainer, because it's a head. I made a funny. Snagging that legless head sets me up with a second stun in a very, very strange railgun-coded move where you shoot out Legacy's little core fighter escapee at freakishly high speeds for some reason. Like, look how fast that is. It doesn't make sense. Why is it just like whipping a mock fuck? But outside of a second stun, we also get access to... Oh my god, it's still going. We also get access to... God, it's so much faster than my regular stun. We also get access to X-Rounder Unleashed, a hypertrance skill that puts us in a hypertrance state. Hypertrance, which you will watch my video on, makes you generally stronger and faster across the board. It's an install. It also does a cool thing if you notice that changes Legolas's visor slit to regular Gundam eyes. It's also the only way I know of in the game to open up Legolas's back wings, but I don't know if we're ever going to get those. Another trip to the paint booth to look all MD Geisty. We're back out in the field again. This is actually looking pretty sick. I like how Legolas' head looks with that Mark II Titans. Absolutely nothing happens this mission until I breeze through to the end, where the most base character in the game shows up to challenge me because we entered a tournament or some shit. I don't know, I skipped it. More importantly, this is where I unlock the power of Awakening. Awaken is a state that you can perform with your little gauge on the bottom fills up that generally buffs all your stats, but not in a way that stacks with literally anything else, so it's kind of shitty, but there's some uses. Also unlocks burst actions, which is kind of okay too. We might pick some up later. Since I can't grab the really cool lance as per my own rules, we grab the beam spray gun so we can have a strong secondary range weapon, and a horrible, horrible thing creeps in my head as I look at the actual body part list. Say hello to the best mechanical and worst visual choice I have ever made in this run. Cubile arm. It is an integrated part, meaning it has its own gun and melee weapon, meaning I get to fill all 3 slots for just one part, meaning this ugly son of a bitch is going to be on our build for a very, very long time. Now, we have Awakening, so out of all the Awakenings we can choose from, I picked Guardian Awakening because it's both the least worst and green. And that's neat. And that's almost entirely the whole reason I pick it. We also get access to Burst Breaker when our gauge is full. That's going to be a useful skill for pounding through bosses until we get something to replace it. Armed with our new big freakish meaty claw, we launched the last mission of Chapter 1. And honestly, there's not much to say about this one. I think I've become a little too leveled for the Chapter 1 enemies, which is funny because I'm way under-leveled technically. And it's an SD trio as the bosses for this stage. They got neat parts, but there's really not much to go about for the fight. They blow up and we get our last drop of this chapter. And besides redundant gun, our body choice is, oh my god, Force Impulse Backpack, hi! This ends up being the perfect pick as it does a couple things. It's a high-level backpack for stats, and it has the same Beam Saber combo that I can replace my aging level 1 Grandpa backpack with. Same exact pattern, same cost, I can dump EX Gauge into it for big damage. It also has a new skill in Excalibur, where I can throw out that boomerang for a stun, and just stab a dude. It's not as damaging or efficient as the Beam Saber combo for the same cost of gauges, but it's a cool, nice little extra bit, you know? We need all the cool we can get after we put that horrendous-ass Cubile arm on. And with that, Chapter 1 comes to an end. You're looking at the final form of the Derive Breaker Mark I. Overall, it hasn't been too bad so far. I mean, it's only the first chapter of the game, so there's not a lot of systems in place. There's not a lot of overall difficulty. But less roadblocks than I expected. It's fun, it's a refreshing way to play the game, and I'm hoping that some more shenanigans will occur down the line. Thank you all for joining me when you do, and Chapter 2 coming soon.